is my very first car chat with you guys. I figured everyone's been asking me a bunch of questions on Instagram lately, which if you don't follow me, head over to @almostindianwife. And yeah, you guys have just been asking a bunch of really cool questions, and I feel like I am never able to answer them all. So I figured, why not do a Q&A on my YouTube channel? So we're gonna start it off. I'm sitting here. You guys are gonna think I'm ridiculous. I'm sitting here waiting in the school parking lot for Lucas. I got here like 20 minutes early, so I figured, why not just jump on with you guys and answer this? People are probably looking in thinking I'm insane talking to myself. Fingers crossed, maybe they think I'm on like FaceTime or something, but it's okay because we're here and we're gonna make this happen. So I have a little list of questions, so I'm gonna start going through them. If you guys have more, I will definitely do more of these, so feel free to drop them in the comments or head over to Instagram and private message me, and I'll make sure I add them to next week's. So let's see. Oh gosh, okay. I get this question all the time. Did you get pushback from your husband's family when you started dating? So, first of all, I understand that sadly, within a lot of interracial relationships, this happens. You know, typically you can have very traditional families and you do something outside of what they expected and there's pushback. It's surprising for them. Maybe they expected their son or daughter to end up with somebody within their own culture, and that's okay. That was not anything negative other than that's what they thought was going to happen. I, on the other hand, did not have that situation happen with me. So my husband's family, there's actually a couple interracial couples already. So there's two of them. One is his Uncle Paul and his Aunt Carolyn. They actually live in India. It's actually a really cool story. So his family lives in India. Well, some of his family lives in Hyderabad, India. And so they met this, and I'm probably going to butcher this story, and Joel's probably going to laugh at me and correct me, and I'm probably going to have to come and revise this. But they met this missionary family, and so his Aunt Carolyn married a white guy, Paul, who we always joke is more Indian than everyone in the whole family. Like, raised in India, grew up in India, speaks Telugu. So it's awesome. So they kind of started the trend. They started it off. And then he has another aunt and uncle with an interracial relationship. And yeah, so it's really cool. So before I came into the family, there were already two interracial couples and they had rock solid marriages. They'd already been going. So did I get pushback? No. They were super excited to have me. They were super welcoming. I think it's always just scary coming into a new family, not knowing what to expect, but they were so gracious, so amazing. So they've always been really great. Granted, was it always easy? No, I don't think that in any relationship, it's always going to be easy, especially when you're coming from a different family. You've had a different way of growing up. Like my and my husband's childhoods were extremely different. You know, he was raised by a family and he was raised by parents who had an arranged marriage. I was raised by a single mom for most of my life. So I think that because of that and because of our different dynamics, we were already going to experience a lot of different pieces together. So I would say part of that for us was just expectations. You know, we had a lot of different expectations coming into it. It was very different for us. And I think that part of that as well was that our families had expectations. His family had expectations on what our marriage would look like and what it would look like for us to have a relationship with them. And same with my family. They had expectations of what our marriage would look like and how our relationship was with them. So throughout the last 10 years, we've really talked that through with everybody, and it's a daily process. You know, I think that you don't really understand the expectations until it happens. And so I would say that was more of something that we had to experience together versus pushback. I never had pushback. It was just learning how to come into a new family for both of us. Joel had to learn what it was like to come into a very Western Americanized family. Granted, he was born and raised in America, so for sure, obviously, very American, very Westernized. However, within his Indian upbringing, it was different. So that is a very long way of answering that question. But I do get asked that question a lot, and I know sadly a lot of you guys have had a lot of pushback. Again, it all goes back to expectations. I think that can become one of the hardest pieces of an interracial relationship and marriage is expectations from family, from each other, from it all. So that is that one. I kind of answered some of these questions with the last one since I'm so long-winded and I just like to talk. What part of India is Joel from? He is from Hyderabad. Like I said, he was born and raised in Chicago. However, for a couple years while his mom was finishing up nursing school, he lived with his grandparents in India. So he spent, I think, from 2 to 4, right around there, in India with his grandparents and his aunt and uncle. Oh gosh, here come the baby questions. They're coming, guys. When is your due date? Okay, so my due date is March 4th. So I'm very excited. My kids so far, it's August, January, December. Yes, I had to think about that for a second. So I feel like it's really nice because it's kind of going to be spaced out, which is really cool. And my birthday's in March, and so is my brother's, so that'll be fun. Boy or girl, I don't know yet. Ugh, I am so excited to find out. I'm very in the middle. So I would love a girl because we are very done, I think, after this. Although I said that after Luke too, so we'll see what happens. I would love a girl. A girl would be so much fun. You know, to be able to end our time of having kids with having a girl and it being so different would just be amazing. And I mean, come on, let's be honest. I already have a girl name picked out. I've been ready for one this whole time, so I would love it. However, a 4th boy, I mean, come on. It's beautiful chaos. I'm already used to boys. I already know how to handle boys. I'm already a boy mom. I love being a boy mom. So I feel like the day that we find out, I'm going to be so excited. I think we still have another week or 2 to find out, but guys, I'm so excited. I cannot wait to find out. My husband is team boy. He wants to have a 4th boy. He wants to have a basketball team. He wants the whole thing. Even though I keep telling him, if we have a girl, she'll do the same thing. Like, she can do all the same things. I think deep down he's scared of a girl because he knows all of that. He knows that she would do the same things as a boy and it would be amazing and beautiful. He's scared. He has a younger sister and he knows he is crazy and he is super strict with his sister. He's very overbearing and she would admit it if she was here with me. But he loves it. He loves being able to be close to his sister. And I think that pressure scares him a little bit. So we'll see. I think that's why he's team boy deep down. Lucas was team girl. And then all of a sudden he said, I'm team daddy. And now he wants a boy. And then Liam and Levi, team girl all the way. They said, Mama, we've had too many boys. We're done with boys. Give us a girl. Get on top of that and choose what we're having. So yes. Let's see. Have you always liked Indian food? So I grew up, like I said, single mom. If my mom was here, I would tease her. She's a very picky eater, like crazy picky eater. So I grew up with very, I mean, I don't even know, very, not normal food, very American food. But then, yeah, I feel like just honestly, cheap, frugal staples is what I grew up on. So I never really grew up with Indian food or really anything other than American pasta. So I had a tiny bit of Italian and then a little bit of Mexican food. And that was it. So I didn't really have my first Indian dish until I was probably 18, 17, when my friends and I started kind of being adventurous and trying new things. But I will say I had never had truly authentic Indian food until I started dating Joel. And that's a game changer. If you've had Indian food and you say you don't like Indian food, please, please, please take a second, go find an authentic Indian restaurant, which they can be hard to find, but find an authentic Indian restaurant and try it again. I'm telling you guys, the authentic stuff is way different. It blows everything else out of the water. And now I'm obsessed. Like, I have been craving it throughout this pregnancy. I just want the spicier, the better. I want all the things. I want all of the raita. I want all of the naan, all of the rice, all the curries, all the spice, all the pachadi. I want it all. So, I love it. Go try some good Indian food, guys. Let's see. Have you ever been to India? Oh, no. Joel and I have been together for, married for 10 years, dating for about a year. I've never been. The joke in the family, and it's true 4 kids later, is that the second we plan a trip to India, I get pregnant. Like, it's ridiculous. It's not planned. It's not on purpose. It's just we make these plans to go to India, and then all of a sudden we're pregnant. And it's like, okay, I guess we're not going now. Because then we were going to go again this year, but we were going to go for Christmas. And guys, I'm going to be pregnant. Like, I'm going to be pretty pregnant. I'm not flying to India when I'm that pregnant. No way. So I am dying to go. I don't just want to go for like a week. I want to go for like a solid month, which with my husband's job is pretty possible. If we work it out just right, because they're super ministry oriented and ministry focused, and we could just do so much there. I could see all of Joel's family. I could see, his grandparents and the ministries that they have there, on the orphanages that they work with, and oh my God, it would be amazing. My son Levi already says that when we go to India, he'll never leave because he wants to live with monkeys and mangoes. So his life would be made if he could have a monkey as a pet and a mango. I told him that when we go to India, he cannot have a pet monkey, but he does not care. He says that he will find one and he will have one. So there's that. Let's see. How did you learn how to make Indian food? Oh, guys, it was a rough one. Okay, let's be honest. I will tell you, I'll be the first to tell you, I am not the best cook. What is this person doing? This person, I'm in the parking lot. This person's literally pulled up halfway through everything and just sitting there. Okay, anyways, rapid trail. So I am not the best cook. I can follow the heck out of a recipe, but like doing things on my own and coming up with recipes, not me. That is my husband through and through. So anyways, I am not the best cook. I can follow the heck out of a recipe, but like coming up with things on my own, not me. I will butcher it. I will burn it. I'll forget about it. Leave it in the oven. Like, bad things happen. Like, I'm telling you, that's what happens with me. My husband, on the other hand, comes up with great things, and he'll do all these weird combinations, and I'm yelling at him. I'm like, that is not what the recipe says. The recipe says to add this and this, and that was not on the recipe, and it stresses me out to not follow it because I am such a rule follower. And then he'll make something amazing, and I hate him for it, like, so much. So that's how that goes. So honestly, I got married when I was 20 years old. So when we first got married, my husband had to endure quite a bit of bad cooking. So we've always cooked together. Like, I've had times that I cook, he has times that he cooks. And so it's always been like a joint thing that we do. But it took me some time, guys. So learning Indian food, I would look online for chicken curry, and it would just come up a chicken breast, like a full chicken breast, like a yellow chicken breast with no flavor. And I would be like, Joel, it's curry dinner. And he'd be like, what the hell did you just make? Really bad, guys. So I finally caved, admitted I needed help. And honestly, Joel's family has taught me how. Like, his mom, his aunts, his grandma, they've all taught me how to make different dishes. Oh, and his uncles, oh my God, his uncles can cook. Like, those boys and his family, woo, they can cook. And I love visiting because, oh my God, you're gonna have some good food. So that's really how, I watch them while they cook. I write things down furiously, just trying to remember everything. I call them if it doesn't turn out well. And they've always been super great and gracious with helping me figure all this stuff out. So I'm telling you now, go to my blog, look up recipes. Every single recipe up there is from one of his family members that has taught me, and they're all amazing, guys. They're so good. I promise, Scout's honor, they were not from me, so they will taste good. They are from his family members, and I just learn and I follow them. I will literally go to my blog, look up those recipes and follow those recipes specifically. And then Joel's laughing at me saying, why are you doing that? But it's okay. That's how I learned, guys. I do recipes and I figured out that way, and it's beautiful and it's brilliant. So I really don't know how to cook. I just can follow a recipe. Pretty damn good. That's it. Let's see. Last question. What has been the hardest part in a relationship? So I kind of answered this in the beginning. I would say the hardest part is expectation, and I'll put in there communication as well. I think communication is one of the hardest parts of a marriage in general. whether you're interracial or not. Because let's be honest, every relationship, every marriage is intercultural, because we all have our own culture, whether it be our own family culture, our own, beliefs, our own thoughts. Your culture is summed up and is all of the things that has made you who you are. So the fact that I was raised by a single mom, the fact that my mom got remarried and my dad adopted me, the fact that I met my biological father when I was older, the fact that my family's super close, like all of those things come in to Brittany's culture. Okay, Joel's is the same way. Being born and raised in America with an Indian culture and Indian heritage, being raised by two parents, having two siblings, all of these things came into be and to make Joel and who he is. So all of us are intercultural, or all of us are in intercultural marriages and relationships. So within that, communication is hard. We've all learned how to communicate differently. So it takes time to really just bring those things together. So I would say communication, and then expectations. Like I said before, we have been raised with different expectations based off of our culture, based off of what we've seen in our experiences. So when you come into a marriage or a relationship, you truly have to look at your expectations, and guess what? The real crazy part is most of them are unknown expectations. I had no clue the things that I expected my husband to do, good and bad things. I didn't know until all of a sudden I'd get angry with him for not doing something, or I'd be so shocked that he didn't do something bad to me. Because obviously, like I said, I have a lot of hurts in my heart and in my life because of my past with, fathers and things like that, not knowing my father for a long time. So I think I expected some sense of that kind of stuff to happen with Joel. And I'd realize, wait, he's here, he's present, he's not leaving. So I would say expectations in general. And then you have the whole list of, cultural expectations on, are you expected to be close to your in-laws? Are you expected to be distant from your in-laws? I would say that both of our families are very different within that. Joel's family is very close. My family is very close, but we kind of keep to our zones, I guess. Like once you're 18, in a lot of American families, you're good. I'm going to go do my thing. You do yours, mom and dad. We're solid until I need you. So we all kind of had to learn that together. We had to learn dynamics with our new brother and sister-in-laws. I had to learn how to have a relationship with my sister-in-law and my brother-in-law. Joel had to learn how to have a relationship with 3 brother-in-laws. And they were all so different. So I would say that is the hardest part, is expectations and communication. But they're not deal breakers. Obviously, you figure it out. You take it day by day. You figure out what works, what doesn't work, and you talk. The best thing you can do in a marriage is talk and learn how to talk, whether it be counseling, which I highly recommend, or talking to a pastor, or whatever it is in your life, and whatever way that you can learn to communicate, you learn it. 10 years into my marriage, Joel and I are still trying to figure out how to communicate. We have learned so many tools on communication, but there's still so many more that we can learn. So we're still, we go to counseling, we talk to our pastor, we bring people in, we talk to couples that have been together for years and years and years. And we get all of these tools, all of this advice, and we bring it together and say, okay, yesterday when we were fighting, we weren't communicating well. So what can we do better next time? It's hard, guys. It's like grinding. You're grinding against each other. You're trying to figure it out. And when the moment happens that you're like, hey, we communicated really well right here. It pays off. So the best thing that you guys can do, learn how to communicate, continuously learn how to communicate, always be working on your marriage, and things like different expectations and all of these things, you can work through them. You can figure it out together, and you can build a very strong family. So that is my 2 pieces of advice for you. That's my 2 cents for today. I hope you guys enjoyed our very first Q&A. If you guys have more questions, please leave them in the comments below, or head over to my Instagram at almostindianwife and send me your questions. I love answering them. They can be about motherhood, about my kids, about my family, about recipes, about my, relationship, my experiences, whatever it is, or just crazy questions on how did I prank Joel last week. Ask them all. And be sure to subscribe below so you guys can watch all my upcoming videos. Bye, guys.